Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome to RG Studio or RG Avenue. We're super excited to be able to come live for you guys again tonight on our regular schedule to bring not just a brand new bundle to life, but to bring inspiration to life. So we're super excited. Thanks for joining us. It is absolutely freezing in AZ. I am not sure what's happening, but there's been like hail and super cold winds. We're like in the freezing 40s. I don't know what's going on.
Like, I can say I never thought I was going to see my backyard with some white stuff.
Yeah, there's
not to know, but
there's a white layer of ice over our pool in our backyard, and we're like, what is happening? But again, thanks again for joining us, guys. Now, I told you guys on Tuesday that we had a double whammy, but before we jump into double whammy conversation, let's talk a little bit about RGAvenue.com and a little bit about why we're going RG Avenue and the kind of the change. So our company's growing, our business is growing. We're super excited. A couple of changes internally, and of course, lots of changes to the website. For those of you who are my CSDs, you know that we've gone through several stages of changes to the website, and we're getting ready to launch that second phase of changes to our CSD program mainly. And so as we're getting ready to ramp that up and as we're jumping into some new product development, we needed to make sure that our name was sound proof, that our name was pretty exclusive to who we were and what we did. And so as we did some research, we realized that there's a lot of RG studios out there. Now, granted, we were the only RG Studio 360, but for branding and for packaging and product development, it's a little bit long-winded. So, and truth be told, guys, RG Studio 360 came out of some crazy changes in our life a little bit over a year ago that took us for a 360 start all over loop. But we've since then put that behind us and have moved on and have established ourselves as a brand new brand. And so we're super excited to be that. We're super excited to be who we are today, and very grateful to God and to our community for just kind of lifting us up and continuing to support us and cheer us on as we figured out who we were going to become in the future. So when we launched RG Studio 360, it was basically, it came out of a fluke, quite frankly, and that is because people were sending me messages. I would receive over 50 to 60 messages a day saying, RG, we miss you live, we miss you live, we miss you live. And I'm like, but I don't have any product to go live with. I don't have anything that I can bring to life. Part of it was more of an emotional funk, but the other part was I really didn't have anything that I was allowed to or able to create with. And so and then I said, well, you know what, we can probably just go live teaching with regular paper and scissors. And so it's not like, you know, that was exclusive to anybody. And I said, well, we'll just go live from my studio, which is where RG Studio and then the 360 element starting all over came about. But as things started to get more serious and we started to really create a solid foundation for our brand, that we just met with different advisors and different team peeps, and we decided for RG Avenue, and there's a couple of reasons why. So we originally were going to shorten that down to just RG Studio, but there's lots of RG Studios, mainly in photography, and sometimes not that great photography to boot. So we're like, okay, well, we don't want to lose the RG element of who we're going to be moving forward, but we want it to be a destination. We want it to be a place where people come to be inspired. We want people to feel like it is going to take them to a creative opportunity. And so hence the idea of RGAvenue.com was born. So you're going to start to see that transition slightly. The logo's not going to change. The branding itself, the color palette, those things are not going to change because I designed them to be good for quite some time. But just the domain name is changing, as well as our branding in regards to the name is going to go from RG Studio 360 to RGAvenue.com or RGAve.com, whichever you prefer. They're both going to link you back to everything that we have. And so what's so great about it is that we're going to have Sugar Lane, because of course we have an amazing sugar palette. We're going to have Studio Road, which is going to have all of our studio sets and all of our studio images and, you know, things like that. We'll reveal more and more as we get closer and closer to launching phase 2 of the website, and probably a little bit more into the spring as new product continues to develop. So we're super excited. And you know, what's even more exciting about that is I have been kind of thinking about this for quite some time and just kind of perfecting it. I don't know if you guys seen the last show that we attended, which was in Ontario, California, where we brought our cart to the show full of all of our product. And so again, the idea was born to be, we have multiple of those carts to be able to take on the go to various different shows and represent ourselves, represent our brand. And then, you know, as we continue to solidify convention and things start to come about, then we're definitely going to have the RG Avenue Marketplace, where all of our carts will be parked on a street-like venue. And it's so exciting. In my head. Anyway.
I think it's gonna look great.
So it's gonna be amazing. But today I have something. Last week I told you, was it last week? No, it was Tuesday. I told you that we were gonna go double feature. And what I mean by double feature or double whammy is that I'm actually gonna create 2 projects because I'm not necessarily launching something new. The reason why I'm not launching something new is because a lot of you guys send me messages like, hey RG, it'd be great if we had bundles of some of the things that originally launched, but we've never had the opportunity to play with, or we've actually never seen demoed. And to give you guys a little break in between, because we launch so much new product every single week, I thought that I would create a non-traditional bundle for this week's launch, featuring some of the items that I have rarely touched. And so we're going to create 2 projects today, which is where our double feature comes along. But more than just 2 projects, it's going to be a bundle of 4 sets. What? Are we ready? Let's go ahead and switch over to our top view. That's what you would call frozen hands. It is really cold.
And as you're saying, frozen hands, so let me just review a little bit of what our peeps are saying. So Andrea, which I'm very surprised, said that it was snowing in Pasadena today.
It's nuts, guys. It's nuts.
And of course it snowed in Vegas, and a lot of people are in cold weather, except I guess people in Florida, it's a heat wave over there. I guess they're the only ones.
They're the only ones warm and sunny.
Warm. But all of us are freezing. And then I have, Millie's here. Millie. So she said Avenida Mexicana.
Hola.
Since you're saying the whole avenue, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's... Wait, I'm missing a set. What the heck?
What are you missing?
The Pooks one.
No, she's not here.
No, I had it, but... Oh, yeah, here it is. No, just kidding. I found it.
Uh-huh.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this bundle. So the regular price for this bundle is...
It is...
This is called the Background Love. What is it called? Background Love. Love Your Background Bundle. Okay, guys? It's going to go live tonight at 6. And this is for some of you who said, you know what, we haven't had the opportunity. So let me show you 2 of the sets that are going to come in this background, Love Your Background Bundle. So we've got Ancient Lines and Texture Strips. These 2 I have not touched once, but we're going to play with them today. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be great. We're going to love it. We're going to enjoy it. And so these 2 come in the bundle. But it is a double feature, which means we're adding an additional 2 backgrounds. So we've got ... That's going to be added to the mix. And cross stitch. That's going to be added to the mix. So we've got 4 backgrounds that are part of the Love Your Background Bundle. And these are 25% off from now until the end of Saturday. And they are... so I'll share with you the regular price in a second, and then how much it would come up with the sale. So we're going to do a couple of things right now. We're going to first prep some surfaces. So I've got a piece of powdered sugar, and I'm going to grab some gesso because I'm going to be coloring with some sugar drops. And I want to make sure that I prepare this surface for some watercoloring. So I'm going to grab a spatula, and I want to make sure that I add a very thin layer of gesso, super thin. And so that's why I like to use a spatula, or you can use like an old gift card or credit card. I just want to make sure that it's smooth and that the surface is covered. Now, if you wanted to add some texture on there, you certainly can do that, but I'm not necessarily looking for that. I'm just looking for a thin layer of gesso. And that'll also help it dry faster too. All right, so we've got some gesso on there. We're going to let that dry. Now, as that sits and dries, we are going to grab our stamparatus and another piece of grid paper here, because I'm going to stamp on the background using ancient lines. Now, earlier today I stamped both of these sentiments because this too I hadn't actually played with, so I'm actually going to use them as part of the project share here. And I'm going to bring in some watercolor paper for this particular project. Now, I've got the details for the actual bundle. So the bundle, if you buy all 4 background stamps individually, it is a total of $71.96 regular price. But as part of the 25% off, you can get them all for $53.97. So that's the 4 background stamps that are included in that bundle. This one's going to be a little different because it's not a solid background stamp. It's got, and I've never used it, so I'm going to use it today. It's got, so it's 4 within that set. So you obviously, there's the obvious way you can use them, but I'm going to go a little rogue today. And I'm going to go a little cattywampus with my design.
Let's see, we have someone here asking if you will be releasing dies this year.
I will be releasing dies this year, absolutely. I'm hoping in the next month, actually, or shortly thereafter. So I've got a few, but I'm also going to mix and match with some of these guys because they're both, I designed them both with the same texture, even though they're different patterns. And I love that about both these sets. And obviously you can use them on their own to create certain borders and certain elements, but we are going to go a little rogue tonight. Because I do love elements like the dots. down a little bit here, just so that it grabs my paper. And maybe this one would be cool right here. So check it out, super cool. I'm just positioning these a little cattywampus, a little side, little, maybe go higher up a little bit here. Sorry, I'm getting to the point where I'm being a little overly dramatic with what colors I've got. So I'm just gonna grab all my stamps there.
So Andrea's asking if you added something to the magnets or does it come that way?
Oh yeah, I added a piece of painter's tape so that it's easier to grab versus trying to dig it out of the paper. Okay, so I've got my stamps all lined up. I am actually gonna grab our simple syrup because I am going to be embossing this. So I'm adding the simple syrup to my stamps here. And I'm probably going to stamp it a couple of times just to make sure that I've got what I need. You know what I don't know if I brought was my clear embossing powder. Did it stain? Yeah, it's probably just underneath that. So just make sure you have a good impression. It's looking good. Since Miss G went to go get my embossing powder, I'm going to try this one more time just to make sure it's nice and juicy. And then we're going to close up that simple syrup. Now remember, on the side, our gesso's still drying because we're going to create 2 projects today. Got it? Mm-hmm. Thank you.
This one, right?
Yeah. Perfect. All right, so we're going to lift that up. Now I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to bring in some clear embossing powder.
And Ms. Gail would like to know, when will the simple syrup be
Simple
available?
syrup will be available as soon as that order arrives. It's already been ordered, so it's on its way to us. So as soon as it shows up, we will make it available on the website. And you will be good to go. Can I give you this before I create a catastrophe?
Sure.
Thank you, thank you. All right. We're going to go ahead and heat things up. Here's this. And I just love this set because it's so unique. I think that it's got some really cool elements that clearly you can use on their own for borders and elements, but if you wanted to do something fun like this, you can also do that. So Here we go. You can't really see it because it's clear, but we're going to bring it to life here in just a second using some sugar drops. I still have sugar drops from last night's mixed media class. And for this, we are going to use some sweet banana, and we're going to bring in sour mist because it's one of my favorites, and probably a little hint of sour guava. So we're going to grab a little drop of each. Now, if you attended my class yesterday or if you caught the replay, then you know we've got some super cool stuff with our shimmer and our sugar drops that you'll be able to do. I'm going to spritz some water in all of them just to juicy them up. And then I'm going to spritz some water into my background here. And with a brush that I'm also going to spritz water onto, I'm going to start first with my lightest tone, which is that banana. And I'm just going to bring in that yellow. And you'll start obviously to notice the color separation of the embossing. And the color. So we've got that, and now I'm going to come back with my sour mist. So cool. And then the last color we're going to add to this, once this one's officially dry, is we're going to add a hint of that guava. And it's really going to help pop our background. Now, you can already see it separating, but wait till it's dry at 100%.
Pretty.
So it's really cool. I love playing with backgrounds that way, especially when we have so many different tools like our sugar drops. And so we've got embossing powders coming out too, but you can use any clear embossing powder, of course, to be able to bring a project like that to life. So while that is drying, we're going to bring in our gesso, our dry gesso. If it's not all the way dry, just give it a little boost.
And Ms. Rose is on here and she's driving as she's watching us.
Rose, you shouldn't be driving and watching.
Especially with the weather.
Jiminy Smuckets. She's going to give me a heart attack, guys. Alright, for this one we're going to grab a little bit of sweet blue. And possibly a hint of tangy orange. Let's see if I have tangy orange here. Just a little. I don't know that I do.
What are you looking for?
Tangy orange. I have tangerine. Maybe I'll use tangerine.
I'm like, or do you want me to go get it?
No, I just need a little drop. Alright, so I've got some tangerine. Again, I'm going to spritz some water into that. And I'm going to spritz to make sure my brush is wet. Wet my surface. And I'm going to bring in that blue. But I want to add just a little bit more water because I don't want the big brush strokes. I want it to look more like that. Just like that. So fun. The only thing I always try to be careful for is the water, like gathering at the ends because I don't want like this big saturation of color at the end. So we're gonna speed it up. Now on this one, you want to make sure you're a little more careful how you don't want to heat set over once your embossing powder has been cooked, because what will happen is you can burn your embossing powder. So you definitely don't want to do that. All right, so we've spritzed on some of that tangerine sugar drops, and so we splattered them and then we just spritz it with water so that it can create a little bit of that saturation. So now we're just going to let that guy dry. We're going to come back and play with it in just a second, but we're going to come back to this guy and finish it off with a little bit of that guava, and we're going to kind of do the same thing. I'm just going to make sure I clean off my brush here because we don't want it to be orange. We want it to be more of that tangerine color. I mean, more of the guava color, sorry. Just a little spritzing of that guava. A little bit, and spritz it with water, and you're gonna see that run differently. So it just adds a little burst of color, and now we can throw away all of these sugar drops. What? I know. But they go a long way, guys. All right, so these are all drying. We're gonna help them in the process. If there's something you're like, too many big drops, simply go in there and pick them up. And we've just created a gorgeous background here with sugar drops and some embossing and some of these background basics that are super fun to have. All right. So now we're ready to kind of finalize these two projects. So I actually have a cutout circle of sweet banana, which of course coordinates with this color because we used it there. But I'm going to tie it into this while using one of my favorites, which is a cross stitch. Now, some of you guys who have been super connected to our beginnings then probably already have these sets. So I know I'm not showing you anything brand new yet, but we have to have a little bit of a balance. I'm bringing in some rich honey, and I'm going to stamp these at an angle here. I love this background.
Pretty.
It's just so versatile. You can use it in a variety of different ways. And it's just good to have them, especially when we have so many amazing colors of sugar cubes and sugar drops. So now it's time for me to start. So that one's going to go here. You can already kind of see what I'm working on. All right. And then, of course, we've got this one. And I love the splatters of the guava on there. All right. So let's go ahead and start with that one. And we don't want to necessarily hide our whole background. I do have a nectar stone card base for it, because we really want our background to pop. So you see those two together look super good. And what I did earlier is I stamped Blessed and Hello. So these two I also hadn't used since we originally launched them back in October. But today I was able to stamp them and I cut them out actually on my scan and cut, believe it or not. See? I wasn't sure because it wasn't outlined if it would actually pick it up. So this is going to be a hello card. Hello. Look how cool that is. But I am going to add a strip of vellum. That I happen to have laying around. And I'm going to adhere that to the back. And again, it just makes it super fun. I think we have the amazing opportunity to create so many different types of projects. And every week we create new showcases, which I think is amazing.
Well, I think you're, Andrea's amazed that you can create 2 cards at once.
Well, the hard part is that they're typically on the spot, but I still love them. And I'm like, well, I have to figure out how to make it that I love them by the time I'm done. But check that out. Look how cool that is already. And so just to find it, just to give it that finishing touch, I'm going to bring in that hello. And it's just a perfect, simple, everyday card that you can send to that special someone and wow them.
Springy too.
Yeah, well, because of the colors that I use, but if you use different colors, you know, it'll completely change direction on you. And that's what's so cool about something like this, is you've got some fun backgrounds, you can teach a technique class, you can just kind of wow your recipient with this, like, yeah, I totally make that. So super easy, very recreatable, and they get that wow factor of the colors and the embossing and the texture that comes with that background.
Very pretty. They are loving this gorgeous.
And I'm gonna splatter them both at the end. Okay, so because they're both gonna be splattered. Of course I am.
Hello.
So card 1 done. Now we're gonna jump in here into our second card, which is gonna have Blessed. And for this one, I'm using our tangerine, rich tangerine. You're not going to believe, guys, I've had this mini square bow for probably about 15 years, and I never used it until I came out with our cardstock a little bit thicker, and so now it's like easy. It fits right in my crafter's tote, and it's perfect. I was like, I find that very, very interesting. All right, so I've got my stamped background here. And I'm going to go ahead and when in doubt, pop it out. We're going to pop this right out onto our beautifully watercolored background. But I almost wanted to make it cattywampus so that, oh yeah, here's. Because they all look like little crosses to me. Which is probably why it's called that.
silly.
See, they all look like little crosses or little sparkling stars, depending on how you look at it. And our very first look at some rich tangerine ribbon that finally came in today. Looks like a perfect match to me. And this is kind of the width that I'm going for this new launch, guys. Mainly because I think it's a lot easier, or maybe because I've gotten so used to using twine that I'm just used to the little bit smaller. Clearly, I cut away too much there. I'm just gonna fasten that on the other end. I'm gonna do my cheap ribbon.
They love this ribbon. Perfect combination. It's just perfect.
I do love it. I do love. We have some exciting stuff coming, guys. We want to make sure we give you guys everything that we always have, and then some. So we're working on it. All right, so we've got a bow here, and we're going to go ahead and pop this out onto our card base. When I do watercoloring on paper or even mixed media, I do like to add an extra foam square in the center because it'll hold my paper down in case it's still not dry at 100% or all the way through. So it's something that I like to do. You can see that tape on the side. Super cool. And I've also die cut some of my hearts from our new die collection.
That will be coming soon.
That will be coming out soon. Filled hearts. I love it. Not filled hearts, heart filled. Now I'm starting to sound like Miss G.
What is it again?
Heart filled. And one last one. And again, I love the perfect combo of that ribbon with our background. So adorable. And lastly, our word blessed will go right on top.
Aww.
Cute, right?
Very cute.
And again, I love that background. I think it's so cool. And it's a perfect little tie-in. Except for I'm having bow issues here.
Well, they seem to like how you did the ribbon.
Yeah,
But you're fighting out with your bow.
I'm fighting with my bow. There we go. Ta-da! All right, so super cute double whammy with these fun backgrounds. And of course, little bit of splatter for both in the white to just kind of create that complete story.
They love both cards. Hearts, hearts for all of both cards.
And again, it's a super great add-on, or you know, especially if you've not. I actually haven't created with any of these sets. I do create a lot with the cross stitch and also the dot dot dot. So I didn't focus on those too much. But here you go. So you've got this beautiful project with this watercolor background. Now this one showcases ancient lines and texture strips. Let me see if I can bring them out here. So this is ancient lines and this is texture strips. So ancient lines and texture strips, as well as cross stitch. And the one we didn't use today, but we've used plenty, is dot dot dot. So these three are coming in that exclusive brand new bundle that has never been a bundle before, but is a bundle now at 25% off. So if you're a CSD, you know what that means for you, guys. Completely different promo for you, but everybody else, they are available at 25% off, which gives me the total of, I just had it here a minute ago. So regular price, all four of them are $71.96. With the sale price is $53.97. So you get all four from tonight, starting at 6 o'clock. Look at my magnet is attached to my watch.
It's attached to you. Oh.
I'm like, what keeps pulling me down? I keep going like that. I'm like, what is it?
What is it?
So super fun, guys. Look at that background. But we do have a winner of this bundle. 2 winners of this bundle. I was almost forgetting again. Really? So we've got 2 winners from this bundle. And do we want to know who they are?
Yes. Who are those?
Totally almost forgot again. With so much cray about the, oh, we're switching, oh, we're moving, oh, we're changing,
There's just way too much going on.
I'm telling you what. Or it's freezing and AZ.
Our brains are frozen.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I had the 2 winners already on my phone, but now I have to dig them up.
Yay.
Yay us.
Well, now everybody's going to be like super excited and waiting and let's see.
Yeah, so we had 2 winners. 2 winners or 4 winners? No, 2 winners. Oh, so we had Damari Colon was one of our winners. She shared our video last week. So that is, and I'm trying to find my other one. And we've got Carol Carlson was our second winner. So Carol and Damari, you guys both will receive this bundle. It's going to be coming out, and so make sure, if we don't have your address, then make sure that you send us your address so that we can get this bundle out to you guys. Thanks again for participating, guys. Remember, if you want to participate in next week's giveaway, make sure you participate in the RG Shares Challenge and share this video with your friends and family and inspire them to make something fun and pretty and cute. And next week's bundle is also a twofer. But next week's bundle is completely brand new too. So next week's bundle is going to cause your creative juices to go a little psycho killer. But you'll be excited to see it come to life because I think it's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm like antsy for that bundle to go live. Just like I was antsy for this one to go live because it kind of challenged me to play with product that I haven't played with. Even though I play with it live on the spot, it's still great for me to be able, this is my creative time with you guys. So it's a little bit of cheating, but hey, you know, at least I get to put my creative time in. So the more I talk, the less I have to go back to my office and work on other things. So let's just keep chatting, guys. Let's just keep chatting. But how's it going, guys? Good? Are we excited? Do we enjoy that demo? Was it too long? Too many projects? I was a little like, should I do more than one? They're gonna kill me. But I needed to see both of these projects come to life. And are you telling me to wrap it up? Like, RG, get to work, wrap it up.
I give you 2 thumbs up. Like,
oh, I thought you were like,
no.
She's mean, guys.
I am not mean. Okay,
right.
I'm shutting you off.
Oh, all right, guys. Thanks again for joining us tonight. I hope that was fun and that you're inspired. Remember to continue to create and capture so that we can bring hope to those around us. Thanks again for joining us, and buenas noches.